Hey one and all, I'm Jon from the Fisherman the Sea, and today I want to kick off a 5-video mini-series called Recorded at Home to answer some of your questions regarding what it actually means to record all this stuff at home. So, as some of you may already know, we don't record our songs in a studio but in my bedroom instead. Now, obviously, as a songwriter and musician, you always sort of see yourself recording your first professional EP or album in a studio with a full band, a sound engineer, and a producer. All of that costs money though, and that's the kind of money I don't have. So instead, I invested the limited money that I did have into upgrading my home studio to a place that I felt could do the organic vibe that I had in mind for Fisherman the Sea justice. Now, the biggest challenge, of course, when you're recording instruments in your bedroom are the drums. And that brings us to our first real segment, the Lauta percussion drum set. Now, the Lauta is basically just a cajon on steroids. The cajon itself serves as the bass drum and is augmented with another wooden box featuring some strings in it to give it that snare kind of sound. The snare then has a few things attached to it as well. For one, there's a few metal plates in the front to simulate sort of a cross between a hi-hat cymbal and a tambourine. And secondly, on the side, the snare's got a sidearm that you can place a small cymbal on. And then for my right hand side, I found one that can double as a ride and a crash cymbal. Now, while all of this already packs a punch for the upcoming third EP, I wanted to add a little something. And due to the fact that Kartsa had played with a hi-hat since our first gig, I felt like bringing in that whole live setup. And the hi-hat does bring a certain tightness to the sound that you just can't achieve with the pre-installed metal plates on the Lauta. So finally, when it comes to recording the Lauta, the absolute advantage of it is that there is no need for any complex miking. I use one mic for the outside of the bass drum, another for the snare top, and two overheads as close as possible on the cymbals to get minimal room sound, but still a healthy kit sound with cymbals. I did experiment with different miking techniques, like room mics for example, but in the end every part of the Lauta is so super dry when you compare it to a standard drum kit that it just didn't add anything of value to the mix. And I have to say that I just love the fact that I'm able to record the drums in my bedroom with just 4 mics, and it sounds super honest and warm and homemade in a good way, you know. Now, all of that being said, out of the 24 tracks that I recorded for this album, there were 3 that I just sort of couldn't figure out how to do on the Lauta alone. So, Trail of Lies on the first EP, The Funny One on the second, and a track called Suiciders on the fourth one, all feature a proper drum kit alongside, or even instead of the Lauta. Unfortunately, that disqualifies them from being included on the album, because the proper drum kit just brings so much more dynamic power into the mix that it disrupts the flow of the album too much, like between the songs. It's kind of tricky to find a place for them on the EPs as well, but I think it's worked out fine so far. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video and the little peek behind the scenes. Subscribe to our channel and give us a like if you liked what you just saw. We really appreciate every show of kindness that you feel like throwing our way. So thank you, and till next time.
And it feels like you're making me go.